Hey guys, we are here with the GM Mode Hall of Fame nominations video. That's right, I want your guys' help on voting for which players of the players on this list should be in the Hall of Fame. We're going to be going for goaltenders first, then defensemen, then forwards, and then we will be sorting in which the order of the team appeared. So first we'll do Winnipeg, then Carolina, then Vancouver, and then Minnesota, etc. Let's get this thing started. First up, we have the Winnipeg Jets and their goaltender, Julio Bilia. He played 252 career games over the last 4 years, and by the way, that's what that means for whenever we are mentioning a team that is from NHL 15, 16, or NHL Legacy. When I mention career stats, that is only referring to the last 4 years, as that is how many years that the old gen games were able to track. So anyway, back to Julio Bilia. 147 wins in 252 games played, a win percentage of 58.3, 25 shutouts, 924 career save percentage, a career goals against average of 2.29, 6,881 saves, shots against are 7,456, with a total goals against of 575 in 252 games played, and 4 assists as well. Next goalie on the list is Scott Smith of the Carolina Hurricanes. He played 271 career games, 165 wins with a win percentage of 60.9, 28 shutouts, a career save percentage of 919, and a goals against average of 239. 7,274 saves, 7,914 shots against, with 640 goals against in that time span. Next, we have Jonas Korpisalo from the Halifax Tugboats in NHL 17. Played 452 career games, 282 career wins with a win percentage of 62.4, 53 shutouts, a save percentage of 924, a career goals against average of 2.23, 11,999 saves, 12,995 shots against, with 996 goals against in that time span. And the last goaltender on the list for this nominations video, I expect more in the future, is Frederick Mahler of the San Jose Sharks. Played 362 career games, 200 wins, win percentage of 55.2, 34 shutouts, a save percentage of 923, goals against average of 2.28, 9,772 career saves, 10,571 shots against, with a total goals against of 799, with 9 career assists. And now to wrap up the goaltenders category, what we'll do for the end of each category, in this case goaltenders, is show the top 5 for each specific statistic on screen in order. And of course there are only 4 goaltenders, so all of them will show on the screen. Wins: Korpisalo was first with 282, Mahler was second with 200, Smith was third with 165, and Bilia was fourth with 147. Win percentage: Korpisalo was first with a 62.4, Smith was second with a 60.9, Bilia was third with a 58.3, and Mahler was fourth with a 55.2. Shutouts: Jonas Korpisalo was first with 53, Mahler was second with 34, Smith was third with 28, and Bilia was fourth with 25. Save percentages: Korpisalo was tied for first with Julio Bilia for a career 924. Not far behind was Frederick Mahler for third with a 923 save percentage, and in fourth was Scott Smith with a 919. Lowest goals against average was Jonas Korpisalo with a 2.23. Second was Frederick Mahler with a 2.28. Close third was Julio Bilia with 2.29. And fourth was Scott Smith with 2.39. And now instead of reading off the saves and shots against and stuff, we're going to read off the saves per game so that we can have a better idea of how many saves each goaltender needed to make every game in order to keep his team in it. Saves per game, first is Julio Bilia with 27.31 saves per game. Second is Frederick Mahler with 26.99 saves per game. Third is Scott Smith with 26.84 saves per game. And fourth is Joonas Korpisalo with a 26.55 saves per game. And shots against per game, the lowest amount of shots against per game was Joonas Korpisalo with a 28.75. Second least amount was Frederick Mahler with a 29.2, and actually tied for second with a 29.2 as well was Scott Smith. And in fourth with a 29.59, the most shots against per game, Julio Bilia with a 29.59. Alright, next up we have defensemen, and we're going back to Winnipeg here for NHL 15. Morgan Rielly, the only skater nomination for the Winnipeg Jets, 328 games played. And in that time span, 63 goals, 227 assists for 290 points as a defenseman, with an assists per game percentage of 69.2 and a points per game percentage of 88.4. He was a plus 68. He had 826 career shots. That is Morgan Rielly. Next up from the Carolina Hurricanes, we have Aaron Ekblad. In 328 career games, he had 42 goals, 185 assists for 227 points, an assist per game percentage of 56.4, and a points per game percentage of 69.2, plus 78, 658 shots. That is Aaron Ekblad. From the Carolina Hurricanes, Justin Falk, 328 career games played, 36 goals, 131 assists for 167 points, an assists per game percentage of 39.9, and a points per game percentage of 50.9, and plus 24 on his career with 644 shots. Next up, from the Minnesota Wild, defenseman Matt Dumba, 738 career games played. That is the most of any defenseman in this entire ballot of nominations. 91 career goals, 366 assists for 457 career points, most on the ballot for defensemen. An assist per game percentage of 49.6 and a points per game percentage of 61.9. He was plus 83 on his career with a shot total of 1,437. Next up from NHL Legacy, from the Toronto Maple Leafs, defenseman Morgan Rielly once again makes another appearance on the ballot with 328 career games played, with 50 goals, 150 assists for 200 points exactly, an assist per game percentage of 45.7 and a points per game percentage of 61 flat, with a career plus 23, and total career shots are 768. Next up from NHL 17 and the Halifax Tugboats, defenseman Jerry Frank, 328 career games played, and no, that is, well, maybe it's coincidence that he played 4 seasons for the Halifax Tugboats, 328 games played, 60 goals with 208 assists, 268 points, assists per game percentage of 63.4, and a points per game percentage of 81.7, making him one of the most lethal offensive defensemen in Channel history. He had a plus 83 on his career with 827 shots in 4 seasons. Also coincidentally, in 4 seasons on NHL 17 and the Halifax Tugboats, defenseman Brendan Weber. He was a draft pick of the Halifax Tugboats. I believe he was 5th or 6th overall. I can't exactly remember. But he was a computer-generated player. 328 career games played, 97 goals. The second most goals of any defenseman in Channel history. Or at least any defenseman that's on this ballot, but presumably in Channel history. Only 36 assists. This guy was a goal scorer for 133 points. Goals for per game percentage of 29.6. He scored in 29.6% of the games that he played. Unbelievable was that guy, with a points per game percentage of 40.5 and plus 82 on his career with 864 shots. The career shooting percentage of 11.5, the highest of any defenseman in channel history. This next nomination is not one of offense, but one of pure defense. In NHL 17, the New Jersey Devils defenseman Rasmus Dahlin played 574 games played for them. 58 goals, 38 assists, 96 points career. Nothing too special in terms of offense. He had a goals per game percentage of 10.1 and a assist per game percentage of 6.6 for a total points per game percentage of 16.7. But the main reason why Rasmus Dahlin is in the Hall of Fame ballot is because of his defense. He was a career plus 167. That is the highest plus minus of any skater in channel history. And it's not even close. Second, well, you'll find out at some point, but it's not one of his teammates. So that's why Rasmus Dahlin was quite an easy nomination. Oh, and a career shot total of 940. And the last defenseman from NHL 18 and the San Jose Sharks, Charlie McAvoy, played 656 career games, 141 goals, the most of any defenseman in channel history, 230 assists for 371 points, a goals per game percentage of 21.5, an assist per game percentage of 35.1, and a points per game percentage of 56.6. He was a career plus 10, 36 power play goals, most of any defenseman in channel history, with 2,681 shots. By far the most shots of any defenseman in channel history. Alright, so let's wrap up defensemen here. Top 5 for each category. Goals, Charlie McAvoy first with 141. Second, Brendan Weber with 97. Third, Matt Dumba with 91. Fourth, Morgan Rielly of the Winnipeg Jets with 63. And fifth, Jerry Frank with 60. Assists. First is Matt Dumba with 366. Second is Charlie McAvoy with 230. Third is Morgan Rielly of the Winnipeg Jets with 227. Fourth is Jerry Frank with 208. And Aaron Ekblad is fifth with 185. Total points. In first is Matt Dumba with 457. In second is Charlie McAvoy with 371. In third is Morgan Rielly of the Winnipeg Jets with 290. In fourth is Jerry Frank with 268. And in fifth is Aaron Ekblad with 227. Assists per game percentage. Morgan Rielly is first with 69.2. Jerry Frank is second with a 63.4. Aaron Ekblad is third with a 56.4. Matt Dumba is fourth with a 49.6. And Morgan Rielly of the Toronto Maple Leafs is fifth with a 45.7. And points per game percentage, Morgan Rielly of the Winnipeg Jets in first with an 88.4. In second is Jerry Frank with 81.7. In third is Aaron Ekblad with a 69.2. In fourth is Matt Dumba with a 61.9. And in fifth is Morgan Rielly of the Toronto Maple Leafs with a 61 flat. Plus minus, Rasmus Dahlin, 167. Tied for second is Jerry Frank and Matt Dumba with plus 83 each. For fourth is Brendan Weber with a plus 82. And in fifth is Aaron Ekblad with a plus 78. Power play goals. Charlie McAvoy in first with 36. Brendan Weber in second with 21. Morgan Rielly of the Winnipeg Jets in third with 19. Morgan Rielly of the Toronto Maple Leafs in fourth with 16. And Aaron Ekblad in fifth with 15. And shooting percentage, I didn't think it'd be fair to list off the shots here because of the games played. So, in first, undisputedly, is Brendan Weber with an 11.05 shooting percentage. And the next one is not even close. Morgan Rielly of the Winnipeg Jets with a 7.58. Jerry Frank of the Halifax Tugboats with a 7.26. Morgan Riley of the Toronto Maple Leafs with a 6.51. And Aaron Ekblad in 5th with a 6.38. That is it for defensemen. Now forwards. From the Carolina Hurricanes, Elias Lindholm. 328 career games played with 62 goals, 195 assists for 257 career points, an assist per game percentage of 59.5, and a points per game percentage of 78.4, plus 59 on his career, 17 power play goals, and 639 shots with a shooting percentage of 9.7. Next from the Carolina Hurricanes, Jeff Skinner. 328 career games played, 127 goals, 111 assists for 238 points, with a goals per game percentage of 38.7 and a points per game percentage of 72.6, and a plus 27 on his career, 36 power play goals with 1,024 shots for a career shooting percentage of 12.4. And next from the Carolina Hurricanes, Pavel Karanakov. He was a drafted player for us, 409 games played, 146 goals, 124 assists for 270 points. The goals per game percentage of 35.7 and a points per game percentage of 66 flat. And plus 67 on his career, 45 power play goals, 1,046 shots, with a shooting percentage of 12.6. And next up from the Vancouver Canucks in NHL legacy, winger Vladimir Tarasenko. 328 career games played, 171 goals, 128 assists for 299 points, a goals per game percentage of 52.1, and a points per game percentage of 91.2, making it, I believe, the second highest points per game percentage of any skater in channel history. He is a plus 59, 46 power play goals, 1,252 shots, the career shooting percentage of 13.66. And also for Vancouver, y'all know him, y'all love him, the center, Reed Hensick. 410 games played. He was a computer-generated drafted player by the Vancouver Canucks, first overall. 76 goals, 264 assists for 340 career points, 64.4 is his assists per game percentage, and at a points per game percentage of 82.9. He was a plus 59 on his career, 13 power play goals, only 568 shots, with a career shooting percentage of 10.55. Next, from the Minnesota Wild, center Clarence McDermott. Played 492 games, and by the way, he was a computer-generated drafted player by the Minnesota Wild, so 492 games played, 132 career goals, 273 career assists for 405 points, an assist per game percentage of 55.5, and a points per game percentage of 82.3. Plus 73 on his career, 34 power play goals, 1,078 shots for a career shooting percentage of 12.09. Also from the Minnesota Wild, winger Sven Edler. 492 games played, 200 goals, with 186 assists for 386 points. Goals per game percentage of 40.7. and a points per game percentage of 78.5, and he was a career plus 88, 51 power play goals, 29 game-winning goals, 1,609 shots for a career shooting percentage of 12.48. Next up, also from NHL legacy, from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Taylor Hall. 328 career games played, with 146 goals, 154 assists for 300 points total. Career goals for per game percentage of 44.5, a career assists per game percentage of 47 flat, and a points per game percentage of 91.5, making it the highest total points per game percentage in channel history. He was a plus 86 on his career, 38 power play goals, 23 game winners, 1,142 shots, with a career shooting percentage of 12.78. Also on the Toronto Maple Leafs, William Nylander. 328 career games played, 88 goals, 158 assists for 246 career points, an assist per game percentage of 48.2, and a points per game percentage of 75 flat. He was a career plus 62, 14 power play goals, 756 shots, with a career shooting percentage of 11.64. Getting over to NHL 17, the Halifax Tugboats. Winger, Jay Connolly. 656 career games played, 166 goals, 264 career assists for 430 points, a goals per game percentage of 25.3, and a points per game percentage of 65.5, plus 81 on his career, 47 power play goals, 1,377 shots, for a career shooting percentage of 12.14. Also from the Halifax Tugboats, his counterpart, Trevor Hansick. 656 games played, 179 goals, 246 assists for 425 career points, a goals for per game percentage of 27.3, and a points per game percentage of 64.8. And this is a real impressive part about Trevor Hansick. The second highest plus minus in channel history and highest among forwards with an 150 career plus minus. 32 power play goals, 39 game winners is the most in channel history, at least recorded on the ballot. 1,503 shots with a shooting percentage of 12.05. Next up from NHL 17 and the New Jersey Devils, Taylor Hall once more. 738 career games played, 281 goals. That is the most by any skater in channel history. 322 assists for 603 points, the most by any skater in channel history. A goals for per game percentage of 38.1 and a points per game percentage of 81.7, plus 92 on his career. 64 power play goals, that is the most of any skater. 2,384 shots, that is most of any forward. And a shooting percentage of 11.76. Also on the New Jersey Devils, Rudolph Balcers. 656 career games played, 159 goals, 367 assists, and I believe that is the most of any forward, if not any skater, in channel history. 526 points, an assist per game percentage of 55.9, and a points per game percentage of 80.2, a career plus 111, 27 power play goals, 1,428 shots for a career shooting percentage of 11.9. Also from the New Jersey Devils, center Nolan Patrick. 738 career games played, 199 goals, one short of tying the record for drafted players of 200 set by Sven Adler. 322 career assists for 521 career points, only 5 behind Rudolph Balcers. A goals per game percentage of 27 flat, assist per game percentage of 43.6, and a points per game percentage of 70.6. Plus 121, that is the closest plus to his teammate of Rasmus Dahlin, who had 167. Power play goals are 38. He had 1,820 shots for a career shooting percentage of 10.97. And lastly from the New Jersey Devils, Joe Veleno. Or Veleno, I don't know. He dropped like a rock in the draft, but here, he did pretty well for himself. 574 career games played, 115 goals, 270 assists for 385 points, a assist per game percentage of 47%, and a points per game percentage of 67.1, career plus 71, 31 power play goals, 995 career shots for a career shooting percentage of 11.56. And heading over to NHL 18. From the San Jose Sharks, winger Kirk Kolyakovo. 656 games played, 187 goals, 356 assists for 543 points, the most by a computer-generated drafted player. A goals per game percentage of 28.5, an assist per game percentage of 54.3, and a points per game percentage of 82.8, plus 77 on his career. 57 power play goals, second most in channel history among forwards. 30 game-winning goals, 1,566 career shots with a career 11.95 shooting percentage. Also from the San Jose Sharks, winger Nick Ritchie. 296 games played for the Sharks with 125 goals, 101 assists for 226 points. A career goals per game percentage of 42.2 and a points per game percentage of 76.4. Career plus 80, 24 power play goals, 800 shots approximately. It's somewhere in between 800 and 850. I couldn't figure it out exactly because we traded for him mid-season. And a career shooting percentage, at least on our team, this is the highest shooting percentage of any skater, 15.63. And lastly, from the San Jose Sharks, center Darren McLeod. He was a computer-generated drafted player, as was Kirk Koliakovo, by the way, if I didn't mention that. But 492 games played, 82 goals, 232 assists for 314 points, a career assist per game percentage of 47.2, and a points per game percentage of 63.8. He was a career plus 59. He had 10 power play goals. Nick Ritchie had 24, by the way, in case I didn't mention that. He had 839 career shots with a career shooting percentage of 9.87. All right, now let's wrap up forwards. Let's list off the top 5 in each category. Goals. Taylor Hall of the New Jersey Devils, 281. The most by any player in channel history. Second, Sven Edler of the Minnesota Wild with 200. The most of any computer-generated drafted player. Third, Nolan Patrick with 199, one short of Sven Edler. Fourth, Kirk Koliakovo with 187. Fifth, Trevor Hansick with 179. Assists. First was Rudolph Balcers with 367. Second was Kirk Koliakovo with 356, most of any computer-generated player. Third was Taylor Hall, and actually tied for third was Taylor Hall and Nolan Patrick with 322 assists each. And fifth was Clarence McDermott with 273. And now points. The most points in channel history belongs to Taylor Hall of the New Jersey Devils with 603 total points, followed up by Kirk Koliakovo with 543 career points, most by any computer-generated player. In third is Rudolph Balcers with 526. In fourth is Nolan Patrick with 521. And in fifth is Jay Connolly with 430. Goals for per game percentage. With a 52.1, Vladimir Tarasenko of the Vancouver Canucks. With a 44.5, Taylor Hall of the Toronto Maple Leafs. In third, with a 42.2, Nick Ritchie of the San Jose Sharks. In fourth, with a 40.7, Sven Edler of the Minnesota Wild. And in fifth, with a 38.7, Jeff Skinner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Assist per game percentage. In first, with a 64.4, the most in channel history, Reed Hansick of the Vancouver Canucks. In second, with a 59.5, Elias Lindholm of the Carolina Hurricanes. In third, with a 55.9, Rudolph Balcers of the New Jersey Devils. With a 55.5, Clarence McDermott of the Minnesota Wild. And in fifth, with a 54.3, Kirk Koliakovo of the San Jose Sharks. Points per game percentage. With a 91.5 is Taylor Hall of the Toronto Maple Leafs. With a 91.2, very close behind, second is Vladimir Tarasenko of the Vancouver Canucks. In third is Reed Hansick of the Vancouver Canucks with an 82.9. A very close fourth is Kirk Koliakovo of the San Jose Sharks with an 82.8 points per game percentage. And a very close fifth, this was a very close race all around, is Clarence McDermott of the Minnesota Wild with an 82.3. Career plus minus, Trevor Hansick, the undisputed number 1 with 150. In second is Nolan Patrick with plus 121. In third is Rudolph Balcers with a plus 111. And in fourth is Taylor Hall with a plus 92. And in fifth is Sven Edler of the Minnesota Wild with plus 88. Power play goals. In first, Taylor Hall of the New Jersey Devils with 64. In second, Kirk Koliakovo of the San Jose Sharks with 57. In third, Sven Edler of the Minnesota Wild with 51. In fourth, Jay Connolly of the Halifax Tugboats with 47. And in fifth is Vladimir Tarasenko of the Vancouver Canucks with 46. And with shooting percentage, in first, with a 15.63, is Nick Ritchie of the San Jose Sharks. In second is Vladimir Tarasenko of the Vancouver Canucks with a 13.66. In third is Taylor Hall of the Toronto Maple Leafs with a 12.78. In fourth is Pavel Karnakov of the Carolina Hurricanes with a 12.6. And in fifth is Sven Edler of the Minnesota Wild with a 12.48. That'll do it for forwards. So that will about do it for Hall of Fame nominations for this ballot. So you can vote for however many players you want as long as you think they're deserving of the nomination. And I'm excited to see what you guys have to say. Do you think there was anyone left out of this list? Just let me know what you guys think. Who should be in the Hall of Fame for this channel? Let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.